Hey there, my name is Megan, and my channel here is TulipByAnyName, and today is Beta Day 4, and Beta stands for a new video every day for the month of April. So I, along with some other YouTubers, am committed to posting a new video every day this month for April. So yesterday, Beta Day 3, I posted a video about choosing a baby name, and today I'm talking about choosing a name for a sibling. I'm going to link that video down below because really the same rules apply for both. And these are just some other little tidbits you might want to think about when you're choosing a name for a sibling. So first and foremost, I said this in the last video too, do you and your partner like the name? I think that's the most important thing, is that it's a name you both like and feel strongly about. Think about, how do the names sound together? So if you already have a child, how does this name sound with that child's name? Do you have an Alexandrina and you want to name this child Ty? So one name is super kind of long and one is really short. Think about that. Is one name, have a Spanish flair to it, and this one sounds super American, and that might be fine for you. That's fine if it is, but just think about how it sounds together. Think about, is it hard to say both of the names together? For example, if you had a Shawn and a Shana, so not just the first letter all the time, but the sound. Those just kind of happen, my examples, to have the same. So if you're trying to talk about your kids Shawn and Shana, you might get them confused. You might call them the wrong person sometimes. Think about, is it really the same name just for male or female, like an Eric and an Erica? That could be a little repetitive, and I think one nice thing about the name is it is part of your identity and you want to take some ownership. And so if you look at your sibling and they have the same exact name, just the letter off, I don't know, it's just not something I care for, but I know families that have done it for sure. There's some people in my kind of extended family that have really similar names, just a masculine and feminine version in the same sibling set. Think about the first letters, like I was saying, like with Shawn and Shana. So some people really like to do this in a family, to use one letter. Think of like the Duggar family and some of those other famous families that do that. So it can be a little bit cheesy, but I think it can work, especially if the letter has like a different sound. So think of these three names, for example: Emma, Ethan, and Everett. All somewhat popular names, but and E names, but they have different sounds. Emma has the M sound first, Ethan has the E sound, and Everett has the EV sound. Those are not like the technical, phonetic terms for it, but I think that's a way, if you wanted to do something like that, you can do that, and it's easier to call them than Shane, Shauna, and Shannon, that all have that same really repetitive sh sound. Do the names mirror that of famous duos? Okay, so do you have Adam and you want to name your next daughter Eve? Just think about some teasing potential, and with teasing potential, really, children are so creative, they'll think of anything. Or does it sound really similar to a famous duo? So either, I'm going to use Adam and Eve again. So maybe you have Adam and you really love the name Eva. So Adam and Eva, people are going to assume Adam and Eve, or that's what's going to come to mind. So say the names together, see if it reminds you, of Donnie and Marie or Bonnie and Clyde. I can't think of any other duos. I think Adam and Eve are ones people would actually maybe use, and I don't know that you'd really want to use those together. And then another thing is just, how did you pick your first child's name? Have a discussion about that with your partner. Was it a name honoring a family member? Was it a cultural name? Was it a heritage name? Is there a trend in that you want to continue? For example, people are really loving Irish names. So do your first two children have an Irish name and you want to give this one a Brazilian name? You might want to kind of stick with it, especially if you already have two. I think it's more dramatic. Or maybe you have one child with an Italian name and the second child you don't want to have an Italian name. You want to have something really unique and different. That's fine too. You don't have to commit to a theme at all. So yeah, take a cue from your first child. It doesn't have to be super matchy-matchy, but the names should sound good together. So again, say them out loud together. Try calling them, you know, both of them together, and what does it sound like? And think about, do you like nicknames? Does your first child have a long name with a little nickname? What are the nicknames for this name? Do the nicknames sound good together? So try saying those out loud. And then think about the spelling as well. So, for example, if you had a daughter named Hannah and you spelled it the traditional way, Hannah, you might not want to name her little sister Julie spelled like this, Jewelligh, because people will be like, why did you pick such a traditional name, Hannah, and then Julie, which is not an exotic name, and spell it so crazy? Or maybe you spelled Hannah crazy and you want to spell Julie crazy, and there's really no definition of what's a crazy spelling or not. I can't judge. Like I said, my parents named me not the most traditional form of Megan. So just kind of some things to consider, conversations to have with your spouse or partner when you're trying to find a name. The biggest piece of advice I can really give anyone in choosing a name is that just to empower you to pick a name that you both truly love, that you feel content with, and that suits you. So happy naming, and I look forward to talking with you again soon. Bye-bye.